Shanti, good morning. Before Ranjan joins us and we begin the class and the reading of Mama's class, I wonder if there's anyone who would like to ask anything or say anything. Everyone is content and happy. Good. I have all the answers. So let me speak a little bit of a commentary then while we wait for Ranjan. She'll be here in just a minute. So let's turn our attention into the temple of the mind and enter that temple and face the deity soul that is sitting inside. This is a very ancient soul. You, the soul, are part of the original generation in this cycle. You are an ancestor for humanity. So as you look at yourself, you can feel the ancientness, the auspiciousness of your own presence, of your own soul. You, the soul, are part of the continuity of this drama. You play a role from the beginning, through the middle, right to the end. You, the soul, have had many experiences. You've seen all four ages of the cycle. So many civilizations have come and gone. And you, the soul, are still here. You've played a role in many different people, many different times, many different situations. For half a cycle, you were worship worthy, a pure deity soul. And then for half a cycle, you are a worshipper. And now Baba has ended your time as a worshipper. And he has made you into a godly student. And we are very fortunate to have Shiv Baba as our father, teacher, and Sadhguru, and to have Mama and Baba as also our parent, teacher, and Sadhguru. So as we face ourselves as a soul, we stand in the temple of the mind. We can appreciate how elevated a soul I am. And now my efforts are to align with that auspiciousness, with that elevatedness. Our thoughts, feelings, words, actions, values, principles have not aligned anymore with who we are. And as we prepare to hear Mama's class, we know that she was an example of this alignment. People really felt that she was a goddess amongst them. She was beyond reproach. There was never any complaint against her for anything. She aligned everything with who she was. And we know with Brahma Baba that people had begun to have visions of Krishna right from the beginning. He aligned everything, his being, with who he was. So we create that determined thought within us that as we hear Baba's Murli and Mama's class, we will also align and mindfully, consciously ensure that everything is according to who we really are, how Baba sees it. Om Shanti. I'll hand over to Ranjan to take you through Mama's class.
Om Shanti. Good morning to all. So, today, well, do you remember last Wednesday was sanskars? Remember? I'm sure you do. So the creation of the body on the basis of sanskars, and Mama beautifully simplified everything and explained to us. So I'll just, and today, Mama, it is 27th December, 1958, the same year. You receive God's vision and signal only at this time, means at confluence age. So it is said, when you have courage, you receive help from God. To what time and to whom does this saying refer? We use this a lot. Himmate bacche madade khuda. But or everybody in whatever they believe in would have this, that if you keep courage, ask God, He will help. And so it is said, Mama says, when you have courage, you receive help from God. To what time and to whom does this saying refer to? We now know that people of the world think whatever is happening at a signal from God, because He is omnipresent and also in front of you. So He is omnipresent as well as He is in front of you. Whereas Baba says, I'm not omnipresent, sarvavyapi, but I am omnipotent, sarvashaktiman. So it is only at His signal that everything takes place, whether good or bad. So they put everything onto God, that God does everything, good or bad. We know that it is only at this time that God's vision is on us, that we receive signals from Him, that is like Srimad at Confluence Saints. Baba comes, Baptada are here, ever present at a whole of the Confluence Saints, and gives us Srimad every day, every moment. And so there's a signal. We know that it is only at this time that God's vision is on us, that we receive signals from Him, and that we make effort and also inspire others to make effort. He comes and inspires us to act by casting His vision on us and by giving us directions, that is Srimad, elevated directions. And so, did you notice, do you remember? He comes and inspires us to act by casting His vision on us. So what is Baba's title? Remember, Karan Karavanhar. He inspires us. And last, on the Wednesday, Baba ended by saying, He is the bestower of bliss and blessing, bliss and happiness. And we are masters. So Baba teaches us to give dua do, dua lo, give. And so today also, Mama says, He performs all three acts at the same time. So what do you think three acts are when Baba first comes? What does He do? So the three acts are, the act of establishment is taking place now. So preparations for destruction are also taking place, and those who carry out establishments should receive a reward, and this is created at this time too. So Trimurti, we say Trimurti Shiv, He, Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, He says that. Yeah, do you say? You can ask if you have any question afterwards. It's just only short, just little small 2 days. So I'll carry on. So it is those three acts. Now you know the establishment and the preparations for destructions are also taking place. And those who carry out establishment should receive a reward. So our future kingdom. And this is created at this time too. So on Wednesday, Baba said at the end, Baba will give the result, and status and everything will depend on how, we make it number-wise. So Mama is drawing our attention to that. He carries out all three acts at the same time. It isn't that He creates happiness and sorrow for the entire Kalpa. We know that he would only create something good. There is the reward of happiness for half a Kalpa. In golden age, there won't be any sorrow, no doctors, no police, nothing, no accidents. So that's why there is the reward of happiness for half a Kalpa. That is 2,500 years. By his acts, he proves that he is present here for the destruction of one thing and the establishment of another. Whatever he inspires, the destruction of must definitely be something bad. So it's not that, they say in the scriptures, Shankar, you must have seen Shankar with third eye here. He opened his eyes, third eye, and the destruction happened. But Shankar has no part really. It's the symbol of this time of the tapasya and transformation. And so Mama is saying that whatever he inspires, the destruction of must definitely be something bad. Anything that is bad has to be destroyed. So how could he create it? So means that we see the situation of the world and the people because of their use of vices and impurity. And so God doesn't teach us that. He only creates good things. His acts prove that he established something good and destroyed something bad. We now receive his vision in a practical way. Baba gives us drishti, takes us beyond nazar se nihal, and teaches us how to do that, and help our brothers and entire world, our brothers and sisters. They all are our divine brothers and sisters. His acts prove that he established something good and destroyed something bad. We now receive his vision in a practical way. He gives us directions in a practical way. He himself is enabling us to work according to his directions. So Baba helps us that way if we follow his directions and are genuinely wanting to do that. Baba will help. We are creating our reward through our own effort. We have to make effort. It is now that he actually has this part of Karan Karavanhar. If he had this part all the time, then there would constantly be if it was constantly Baba ever present doing Karan Karavanhar, inspiring us, what will happen? Mama says it all the time, then there would constantly be destruction, establishment, and sustenance. So it will be every age, yuga. In the Hindu scriptures, there's a God comes in every age and takes different roles in animal, etc. 24 parts. They say some in a crocodile, fish, etc. That's why they think he's omnipresent. But Mama says he comes only once, not every throughout the cycle or every age. No. People think that all the things that people do, such as eating, drinking, taking birth, or dying, are inspired by God. They say God willing, or in their own language is the same thing. It's God's desire or whatever. But Baba says that like drinking, dying, by inspired by, it is as though establishment, destruction, and sustenance are continually carried out by God. But we now know that his role of destruction, establishment, and sustenance is not like that. He carries out such establishment that there is constant happiness for half a kalpa. So that is 2,500 years. We now understand these things and are creating our future reward. He has to carry out sustenance through us. The saying about courage and help refers to the present time. That is only this short leap age. The confluence age is very short. But you never received practical help in all that you were doing previously. It is through our own effort that we receive such reward, and on this basis, there is happiness for half the time and sorrow for half the time. We do actually come into the cycle. So Baba is into the cycle, like if you bring the picture of the cycle in front of you. Top is Shiva Baba, and then he creates Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar. And then the cycle, all the religions, and then at the top it's Lip Yug, there's a clock. And then there's the handle is pointing out. It's a very short age, confluence age. So it is sorrow for half the time. We do actually come into the cycle. The world remembers the things of this time in the form of memorials, whereas the actual part was for a very short time. We now have knowledge in our intellect. If anyone is experiencing sorrow, it isn't that it is happening on God's instruction. No. You remember on Wednesday? That is the fruit of our actions, our body, our everything. If Mama gave example of if somebody is blind or whatever, deformity or whatever is happening, it's not the God, but it's the actions that we perform, elevated or bad actions. So we now have knowledge in our intellect. If anyone is experiencing sorrow, it isn't that it is happening on God's instruction. No, this is each one's karma, and it is due to this that they experience happiness or sorrow. We are uplifted by his vision and his signals because he himself is the highest on high. His role is to make us elevated. All the memorials are of this time. Other people do not have such memorials. They even have memorials of the Supreme Soul. All the praise is of God and not of any human authority. God only comes once and completes all his tasks. Then nothing remains to be done for which he has to come. So basically, he comes only once, Baba has been saying, and Mama is saying, comes basically once. He carries out the establishment for half a kalpa too. And he also inspires the destruction of everything. God's part and our part have been created by systematically, and the cycle of this interplay continues to spin. On one hand, there is the beginning, and on the other hand, there is the end. So we say Sangam Yug, confluence age, so is the meeting of this confluence age and then the beginning, but other side of the confluence, left side of the confluence age is the end of this Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is okay. And then Satyug, golden age, and then Kali Yuga,
And
left end, this end of this world, old world. So all the praise is of God and not of any human authority. God only comes once and completes all his tasks. Then nothing remains to be done for him, which he has to come. He carries out the establishment for half a kalpatu, and he also inspires the destruction of everything. God's part and our part have been created by very systematically, and the cycle of this interplay continues to spin. No, on one hand, there is the beginning, on the other hand, there is the end. We are now being enlightened through him at this time. So for us, it is the confluence age. We are not in the hell, not in the Kali Yuga, nor in golden age at this moment. We are on confluence age. And so for us, we are now being enlightened through him at this time, through Baba. Baba is in. We are now progressing with enlightenment. This enlightenment is only for those who are following him. Until his vision falls on us, it is as though we are in darkness. When you have courage, God helps. And so there is a connection. Only when you make effort can you receive help. For half a kalpa, you have just been listening. Now you have to receive from him in a practical way. This is why we do not have any dislike for anything. It is a predestined drama, and there are all parts within it, the highest and the lowest. That's why Avyakt Bapdada Murlis, when we listen, Baba always reminds us, don't have this why, what, instead fly. So why this is happening, Baba? Yesterday, 2, 3, even Sakar Murli, whatever happens, it was destined, predestined drama. And there are all parts, everyone has their own different variety part. The highest and the lowest. We now also understand the destination to which our present effort is taking us. Means we now, only when Baba comes, we know our home that we are going. So that is our destination to which our present effort is taking. So it depends on our present efforts. We have to reach it. Acha, Om Shanti.
you'll notice that both Mama and Baba spend a lot of time helping us to unlearn many of the beliefs that we have from the path of devotion, because you can't really learn the new while you are hanging on to the old. The new doesn't take that long to understand, but to unlearn the old beliefs can take so many years. You could be listening to the Murli for 10, 15 years, and then suddenly the penny drop that this is what Baba is actually saying. And this is why we must listen to the Murli each day. So Mama was running through these very popular beliefs, and the audiences in front of her at that time would have had all of these beliefs. Omnipresence, that God is Karan Karavanhar, which is linked to having everything in his hands. It's almost point of reassurance that we have from God, that He is controlling everything. But then it becomes very confusing because we have a tragedy, and then we're saying everything is in God's hands. So are we saying that God gave that sorrow? That, of course, would distance our heart from God. And then we do believe as devotees as well that God helps us. But Baba is saying to us, well, Mama is saying to us that we still came down the staircase. Our sorrows increased. And it's again a big confusion as devotees that we perform a lot of devotion, we fast, we do so many things. And then some invading army comes and just completely takes over the kingdom. There are so many examples of that where people felt that their faith would protect them, and then it doesn't. And they are left with that question, why did God not help? So Mama is explaining in this class that we didn't know that Shiv Baba is also an actor within this drama, and that he would have a time to play all of these roles. We have assumed that he would be playing these roles anytime. So we know from Baba now that we were devotees since the beginning of the Copper Age. And we have assumed that God can do all of these things since then. But Mama is explaining that he plays all these roles only now at the confluencing. And so he is creating the Brahmins and making the foundation for the Golden Age. He is purifying now, teaching us the method of remembrance, teaching us the importance of purity. He will liberate everyone. This is the time of distraction. And then he will also take everyone back with him. So sustenance happens after distraction. And it happens through Mama and Baba, through Lakshmi and Narayan, in the golden and silver ages. So we're learning now that most of the path of devotion is a memorial of the confluencing. And so we gain some sort of temporary happiness and temporary comfort through the memorial. But we don't actually get God playing all those roles in our life during that time. We get a little bit of God's help along the way, and we also, if we perform good social work, we get the return of that. And if we've done it in God's remembrance, we would get a bit extra, I think, for that. But generally, we can see that it doesn't matter what we did, our mind didn't come under our control. The sorrows didn't stop. Our towns and cities were not protected from different invaders. These things didn't happen that we thought would happen. And so to unlearn all of these things, that how God is separate from the soul, God is separate from nature, is not omnipresent. He is a soul who has his own role. He is also an actor, and he plays his role now. To unlearn all of these things can take a lot of thinking about. So I wonder if anyone would like to ask anything or make any comment. Or Ranjan, do you want to say anything? did you want to say? Would anyone else like to say anything or ask anything? And one thing that comes up in Mama's class today and in Baba's Morali is how strict Mama and Baba were about only praising Shiv Baba. You heard it just now, Mama saying, there's no praise of anyone else. There should only be praise of Shiv Baba. And both of them were very strict about this. Like if you went with flowers to greet Brahma Baba, he'll tell you to keep the flowers. You give the flowers to Shiv Baba. He was very strict. And if you were saying, oh, Mama, Baba, you did this, you're so wonderful, they will cut you up. They will not listen. They will not let you praise them. They were very strict on this, that there should only be praise of Shiv Baba. Because like Mama said, until Shiv Baba's vision fell on us, it was a nice line, wasn't it? That until Shiv Baba's vision fell upon us, it was as if we were in darkness. So all of the greatness is of God, not of any of us. All of the treasures are God's. And even if we are sharing them, we are just cascading, we are passing them on. Right? They're not our property. Okay, if no one wants to make any comment, then shall we finish with a few minutes of Manas Trishna? Let's do that. Thank you for joining us. Om Shanti.
Have a good day.
Good weekend. Om Shanti.